Hello, everyone. Chris here with my wonderful friend Seth, Ambushed Apostate. What's up, Seth?
What's up, man? How are you?
Doing good. We're trying a little something new, a little idea we've both been milling over and talking about on the back end, a little thing we're tentatively calling reality check. Inspired by shows like Atheist Experience, The Programming in the Line, and other call in formats that, aren't explicitly atheism related and the like. The idea is, well, Seth, why don't you explain it? You wrote out a pretty good piece on it a moment ago.
So, from what I understand, the working model of what we want to do is have a platform where people can call in, they can give whatever claim they would like to, and together we're going to see if it holds up to a reality check, essentially. And the idea is to get people talking about things they believe. It doesn't really matter specific topics, pretty much a free for all unless we have a certain episode, I guess, that we would dedicate to a certain topic. But you call in, you tell us what you believe. We talk about that while also in real time looking up, if we can find it, some actual evidence to support that belief, or it may be something that the caller might want to reconsider. So just starting conversations. Chris, anything to add to it? Because that's sort of, I guess, my vision of what we were talking about.
Hey, beyond that, there's some varying stuff where we might focus on a particular video or something that goes on, like we're going to demo here today.
Yes.
It'll be a bit, not a variety per se, but we'll just see how things go. But the, audience interaction, so to speak, is going to be a part of it in some way or another. So,
Oh, for sure.
yeah,
And of course, the community here is awesome. So you guys give feedback in the chat, and we will definitely weigh that because we want to produce a good show at the end of the day. Have a little fun with it, but also help some people out. Maybe get through some of these uh, wacky beliefs they have.
yeah, that is the goal. Just as the title is, provide a reality check to these things. Actually, check it against known reality and see if it sticks. But yeah, so what we're going to look at today. The other day, Ken Hovind and the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland, because of course we'd start with Hovind, had their little 9-year anniversary blowout video. That was, how long even was the video, Seth? Like 40 minutes or
40, yeah, it
something?
was 40 something minutes long. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a perfectly normal video where he was bragging up to be like, "We're going till sunset, or till sunrise. No sleep till Brooklyn, no sleep till Lenox, Alabama." And
No sleep till Hovind.
yeah, exactly, no sleep till Hovind. And it was pretty much a normal thing where he just went through his typical slides for a while, then eventually finally took calls after he went through the leeches, on his Facebook and stuff, leaving comments. I slipped one in there. I've got a
Yeah,
secret
you were
alias on
you were
Rumble.
in. Yeah, he was incognito in the chat while
Yeah,
I was making my plan.
yep. And then so the only call in we had was actually Seth here. And
It was.
he had a very simple question regarding Hovind and the potential of him coming to the Ark Encounter protest. And Kent and the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland decided to, ironically, make asses of themselves in their reaction to Seth's perfectly normally phrased statement.
And to be honest, we're going to watch the call here in a second, but I really went out of my way to not be super aggressive or super insulting. And what I said, I think everybody in the chat can make up their mind, but what I ended up saying was relatively mild to say,
Yeah,
it's like, but let's get to it. We'll get to that in a minute. It was
yeah,
just, it was a big overreaction, I felt like, on their part.
definitely. Now, what's cool about this is that you here live are going to get a first-hand look at the video Seth did on this. We were talking earlier. He's like, "Hey, when are you going to stream? I don't want my premiere to go over yours and your live stream." And I'm like, or like, "Hey, should we show it on your stream?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that works. That'll be something. It's something easy to do because you know I've been taking a little break recently. Just going with the flow, working on a few other projects. So this will be perfect.
Yeah,
It's
we
right around the
literally are.
show.
We're just going to premiere the video and talk about it and see how this kind of plays out,
Yeah.
and then maybe we can jump into talking to some people afterwards if that's something somebody wants to do. But yeah, let's fire it up.
All right, time to. I'm gonna have to click a few buttons here. I'm gonna toggle all the hovens.
Make
Let's
sure you turn
see.
on Al Gore's rhythm, Hovind.
Oh yeah, yeah. Be sure to like and love the video for Al Gore's rhythm. He's got a boogie on down. And yeah, let us go with Seth's video titled, I Called Kent's Show Again. Is he able to be peaceful and mature at the Ark Encounter protest? Let's do this.
Dodge this.
So I've done a thing now for a second time. I think that makes this a habit. I'm a repeat offender, and I need to confess to you guys that I cannot control my urge from time to time to call Kent Hovind. And that's exactly what we did tonight. And there was a very specific reason for it. But before I get into that, let me give you a little backstory, a little context as to why I needed to call him in the first place. Long story short, I have been given an amazing opportunity to be a small part of the Ark Encounter Protest 2025 by way of filming the event. There was a need.
Now, I'm just wanting to double check. The plan is still for me to go as well. Yes?
Yes, it is. That is the plan. Yes, you will be helping with camera work and capturing all of the madness if Kent does show up. So prepare yourself.
Yeah. Oh, I'm ready. It's been a while since the convention days.
And just for the record, Chris has not seen this video.
No, this is all
I literally
fresh.
just sent him the link, so he's watching this with everybody in the chat.
Yeah, y'all know I like to do things live, like to go in blind. So this is fun.
Doing it.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. I reached out and offered to fill that need, and me and another content creator are going to be filming.
Oh, that would be me being referenced there.
That would be you, yeah. That's I'm taking Caruso Tomato with me.
You saw my profile on the revised Final Zone, right? I am not a tomato. Oh yeah, you did it because I sent the screenshot.
Yeah, your contact in my phone is the tomato that
yes.
Somebody put in our Discord. Absolutely.
Yes, I must be the angry tomato. No, he's just a upset tomato. But we're meandering. We're going to try to stay more focused in reality check. It's Yamato Live where everything goes crazy. So let's keep going. Oh man, I really do want to meet him at Meta. I really like him. I mean, I like everybody, but he's just so fun to hear him laugh about these things.
Man, I first found him when I was deconstructing, and at first he kind of came off as too abrasive. Like I was still like super sensitive to,
yeah, and I can understand that. Yeah.
But as I continued to deconstruct and listen to him, my angry atheist stage really, connected with his sort of bite that he has in some of his older content. So I have the utmost respect for him. I appreciate what he's put out. Everybody coming here is like, a big deal. I mean, a lot of big names are coming. So I'm super excited just to be in the same room with these people.
Yeah, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
But let's look at that trailer as you update us on things, and just everyone gets a clue as to what's going on here, because this is going to be so awesome. And we haven't even made it to the part where you call Hovind.
Right. The suspense is killing me.
Well, let's get to it.
My goal is to capture as much as possible and give it to the people who can't make it. It is not safe.
And, it's funny that Can't Make It popped up right when Vice Rhino did, because as far as I've been able to tell, he might, or it's more likely he's not going to be able to due to, well, current political climate.
Well, that's literally what you paused in the middle of, and I'm I want the record to reflect that I did not say the name. That was Chris. So if that was something that we were supposed to keep on the low, I don't know. I don't know Vice Rhino. I'd heard some similar things. I don't want to make that announcement and people start thinking he's not going to be there, and us not know it for sure.
I don't know one way or the other.
But to be honest, people coming from, well, just play the video. I'm saying the same thing I'm about to say.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that. I need to just let the video play, damn it.
You're fine.
Am I, though? Oh, let's keep
You're
going.
fine. Right now, to travel to the United States, if you're from various countries. If you haven't noticed, we're under a fascist...
Oh, hell, I didn't even notice Durante Lamar in there. I just discovered his stuff yesterday.
Dude, I found the Daily Atheist Morning Show, the Damn Network, less than a month ago, and they have been some of the most inviting and just compassionate people I've met ever. So yeah, that whole group of people. I'm
gonna have to get in there and check that out, because
it's an awesome community they're building up. And yeah, and then you've got Chris. Chris is going to be doing MC work, which is amazing too. He's gonna make a great MC. Chris Mallard.
Very, very nice. This is gonna be some good stuff.
This dictatorship, but we won't go there right now. There's already enough uphill battles right now. And a few days ago, I hear Kent is planning to, essentially bring a handful of his followers and a film crew and come to the protest and presumably be disruptive. I want this event to go smoothly because I want children to see that arc and that story as a red flag, not as something that happened, not as something to base their belief system on. I don't want this to turn into Kent Hovind bringing 12 of his cult members. And I say that, if you're unfamiliar, he literally lives in an old gravel pit down in Lenox, Alabama. He thinks it's an amusement park, but it's cringy. It's not an amusement park. It's a gravel pit with like Temu amusement park stuff in it, if that makes sense. Plus, he can't keep, children from drowning in his lake because he doesn't have lifeguards, because why would he?
But of course, whenever it's brought up, I always have to remind people that Ken Hovind says he was a lifeguard for 15
I was a
years.
lifeguard. I taught all the lifeguards. That's why the kids still drowned right there under my nose.
I was a lifeguard for 15 years, but I was on the other side of the park. But then I was immediately teleported, like Goku, over to where the accident happened. But it was too late. Hovind?
Me and Chris Jones were setting up one of the cabins for the next night. Hovind.
Yep.
All right.
It's getting dark already.
And, his friends come down and essay little kids. So, both of those things are bad for business. But again, that's not the topic of this video. What I want to focus on is the fact that Kent Hovind and his cult members plan on coming to this event.
The hand feeding water everyone? No, you didn't. There were no cages on the ark. There were rooms. Read the Bible. We covered that last night. Unfortunately, Ken Ham did a great job. I recommend you go there. Joseph, should I tell our listeners what we're thinking about doing? No?
Well, I don't care. It's up to you. The
Well-
surprise would be nice. The surprise would be nice.
But then the crowd would.
Ooh, I'm
Pause that.
glad you were.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm glad you were able to make out what he said, because it's actually, I have trouble for all the stuff I can make out. I have trouble actually parsing the audio from people in his audience speaking.
Yeah, I had to amplify it, artificially and really focus. But this part is a little bit disconcerting to me. Basically, Joseph appears to be like giving the old, knife hand across the throat, like cut it out. Don't say it. He goes, well, I'm going to say it anyway. Joseph's in the background trying to basically run, interference, because it's supposed to be some sort of surprise. And when he comes on and says, it'd be nice if it was a surprise. What kind of surprise are you planning? That kind of creeps me out. That makes it seem a little bit, like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, that's pretty
And then you'll
unnerving.
also, I didn't subtitle it, but you can hear Kent as soon as you press play. He's going to say, but the crowd would be a lot bigger. But he says it really, really faintly under his breath. You got to listen close. They're up to something, is what I'm saying. They're scheming some sort of shenaniganery. But I'm a little concerned because they're also like sovereign citizen extremists. So yeah, play and listen to what he says.
All right, everyone, get your volume up for you to parse this as well.
You run it back about 15 seconds.
Like the margin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll kick back. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, right here.
Yep. Okay. We're just gonna go silent and let the clip play.
No.
Well, I don't care. It's up to you. The
Well-
surprise would be nice. The surprise would be nice.
But then the crowd would be. Like the margin. I don't know.
It's up to you, Doc. You do.
Let's pray about it. He said yes. Okay.
So I'm not trying to play devil's advocate here, ironically, but to me, I think that's Kent's ego showing through, saying, "Oh, if everyone announces Ken Hovind's going to be here, so much more people are going to come, as opposed to if he's not there."
You know what? I did have that thought too.
Yeah.
And I mean, the smug look on his face says, well, if I'm there, the crowd will be a lot bigger. That could be all it is. But unfortunately, with people who have a history of extreme rhetoric and, the whole assaulting the official there, the IRS dude, he has called for in veiled ways before using violence, if necessary. His whole tongue-in-cheek thing with the IRS. Well, there's a lot we can do if they come to your door. Wink, wink. Like what? Shoot through the door? That's psychotic. The only thing you should be doing is opening it up and cooperating. Anyway.
Yeah, that's the problem when dealing with someone like Hovind, is that you can't give them benefit of the doubt. You can't give them an inch. They'll take every mile they can.
You're right. And see, we still haven't even gotten to the pile of nonsense from the call. This is still preamble and still context that I think is necessary. So let's finish this out. And we're going to actually get to the call very soon.
Yeah. Time to focus. Let's go.
July, what's the date on it? July 7th. The atheists are having a rally at the Ark in Kentucky. We're going to try to send some of our crew up there and counteract the stupidity of those folks. Okay, defend the Bible version. We'll see. If you want to meet me or some of our crew, come on up, Kentucky, July 7th. Not positive for sure yet, but that's 6th, July 6th. Okay. Mr. Nelson falsely believes the ocean was salt water. We covered that last night. No, it wasn't.
Peacefully, by the way. Legally, by the way.
Pause it.
Everything's...
Yo.
Yeah, so, to me, even when he said, we're going to try to get some of our crew together, and he has this little hesitation, he's looking at somebody, you can tell some gears are turning. How much do I want to say? And I hope he just comes up there with some stupid signs and them chanting something stupid, and we can kind of poo-poo it away.
Yep.
That's the best case scenario, but I'm a little concerned, like I said, with his history, that it's not going to get really crazy.
I mean, we just don't know. Could only hope. I know. Let's pray about it and see if that changes anything.
Yeah, and then he immediately got his answer, and it was yes. Of course, it was what he wanted.
Yeah.
So he said the quiet part out loud. When Kent prays, if he wants to do it, the Lord's answer is yes.
Yeah, that's everyone when they're praying, all they're doing is praying to themselves. In effect, that little voice inside their head, that's them. They control it in a sense.
Oh, for sure.
But in Hovind's case, he's probably literally praying to himself, though, because we know the ego that man has, as we'll see demonstrated here shortly.
Per minute, by the way. And to all you Christians who were just disgusted by this Ark protest, where's the free speech you're always talking about? They're coming for our rights. They're coming any day now to take our speech and our guns. Because we don't believe exactly like you, do we not get free speech as well?
Ooh, you forgot to add in how persecuted Christians are.
Oh, it's coming. It's like you've seen this before.
Oh man,
I swear you haven't.
You say that like almost like it's sarcastic that I haven't. No, I really haven't seen this. It's just
I know you haven't because there wasn't actual time for you to watch it. But yeah, you're on the same. You're tracking with where I'm at because the persecution complex is such a big issue. I touch on it a little bit later, like individually.
Yep. I guess it's a case of great minds thinking alike.
Yeah, definitely on the same page.
Oh, yeah.
Does an atheist? Does a humanist? Does anyone who's not white, straight, and Christian have free speech? Or is it just you, hypocrites? Yeah, miss me with that. Anyway, that's also another video for another day. So, I call Kent because I want to ask Kent directly, on record, on the internet for the world to see, can you act like an adult? That's it. And I wanted his answer. And I wanted his answer to be recorded so that the world can go back and watch when he sticks his foot in his mouth, comes up there to Kentucky, first week of July, shows his... and then gets this footage dropped on him with a comparison video of how he actually acted versus what he says tonight, April 16th, 2025. Let's watch.
All right, pause this before we start it. All right, we're going into the video, and I just want to make something clear. I actually had a similar conversation with the Apostate Sisters when we were talking. I censor my videos. You do not have to censor yourself. I want to be clear about that. The reason I do that is because coming out of a circle like Kent's influence, if I was just coming out and I saw this video about this guy talking about leaving this exact same situation, but I heard any profanity, there's such a stigma around it
That
I mean, you
immediate
feel so,
revulsion that happens.
yeah, and it shuts off any reception that person's going to get. So I just wanted to be clear with that, and that's something I'm going to explain in another video on my channel. Just kind of laid out there. That is just so I don't run people off.
No, totally.
I just wanted to be clear with that because it's not that I'm scared to use profanity. You know me. I think everybody who's in here is probably known that at this point, but I'm trying to be respectful for the Josephs that are just coming out, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So.
Oh no, I totally get it. I mean, for me, I'm here for the laughs, to provide the comedy to the people who already have, moved on from Bronze Age
Right.
myths and the like. You're wanting to help people who are in your situation and help them, should they choose to, find the freedom provided by the rejection of religion.
Right. And I think the two perspectives are what's going to work with this, because I really think both of us working the same topic from two different angles, I think is going to be a pretty cool little vibe. So I'm liking it. And I just want to say thanks to everybody in the chat that's saying, hey, I'm not ignoring y'all. We got a bunch of people. Claude in the house.
Yeah.
Zach.
Oh, nice.
Stacy is always here as
yes.
being a boss. William, what's up, man? Thank you guys
Hi,
for watching.
everybody.
Zoomy. Appreciate y'all. Let's get back to it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And
This
that's
is
what
the
I got
actual.
to
This is the actual call, and I don't stop it at all in my video. So if you want to let it run all the way through, kind of let everybody see the full context, because I do go back and analyze it.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna have the whole thing go through. So yeah, let me get prepped and let's do this.
Oh, cry baby.
I don't know who it is.
Oh, well, bring him on.
What's up, Kent?
Oh, yes, sir. Who are you?
I'm Seth. I talked to you a couple of weeks ago.
Seth, like thus saith the Lord?
That'd be me. You don't remember the phone conversation where you muted me and then said I left?
I can barely understand him. Can you crank it up a little bit? I can put my headphones on.
Yeah, let's do the headphones.
And I don't remember conversations, brother. I got such a busy life. Go ahead. What was it about?
Oh, no, it's irrelevant. It's already in the past. I was just wondering, since you're coming to the Ark Encounter protest, are you going to be able to act like an adult and a Christian and not show your butt?
No, I keep my pants on. I don't ever show my butt to anybody, but I will act like a man of God that wants to preach the truth. And read how the prophets did it. Elijah, he called them names. If you believe you came from a rock, you're a fool. If you don't believe in God, you're a fool. This is what the Bible says. So I'll be honest. I'll be fair. And I'll take any questions. Do you have any evidence for evolution? I'd like to see some. I haven't seen any in all my lifetime. Anyway, call in any time. Okay? That was it. Okay. Yeah, why would I show my butt? Everybody has one. What's a big deal? If you want to see it, stay away from me, okay? All right. That's it. Steven, you have something? Okay. See you. I'm going to have a bonfire. Come visit Dinosaur Adventureland. It's really cool. Act like an adult. I don't have to act like one. I am one. Yeah. Okay. Why do they act? They don't act like liars. They are liars, aren't they? Yeah. We'll straighten them out or try to. Okay. See you tomorrow night. Open mic again. Thursday and Friday. Open mic. Bring your question. Bring it on. Thank you.
So I was there watching it live, and right after you kick Seth off, I'm like, really? That was already the limit for them? And then of course
Right.
Kent has to roll in his little homophobic jokes. And then we go on and, right after saying, oh, I'm going to be Christian and stuff, start using some random tiny Bible, element, because of course everything in the Bible justifies everything, to ridicule, oh, you believe you came from a rock? You're stupid. Show me evidence. I haven't seen any evidence for evolution. Come down to Dinosaur Adventureland. It's great. It's like he always just pops it up like it's a sudden idea, like it's not something he says every day. But during this, I was like, oh, I missed my chance. Can I squeeze in? Because it's not too late. Like I couldn't find my headset. I was just like, forget it. I should have been there. I should have been waiting. Should have followed up. But I didn't.
What?
Seth, still there?
I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my mic. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Now you're good.
Okay.
Now you're good.
All right. I must have been muted. No, honestly, the point was to ask him, can you act like an adult? That was the sentiment of the statement. He's acting like I was saying literally.
Yeah.
And
it's
that
like,
again shows his immediate dishonesty instantly. Like he's so good at it. It's just immediately he deflects to something else. And I mean, how hard is it to answer as a pastor of a church? How hard is it to answer? No, we're going to be peaceful. We're going to be respectful, and
Yeah.
we're going to go share our message, and evangelize. That's great. I am all for that. That's called free speech, baby. But we got it too. Why is it so hard for him to say, no, we denounce any violence or anything crazy? Because again, now I'm leading back to what you up to, dude. What you mean it's going to be nice if it's a surprise? You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So, when you look at it and contrast those earlier statements, what went on last night,
Right.
it really makes you wonder and shows, not that we all didn't already know, the lack of any kind of personal, really accountability for anything that Kent has. It
Right.
goes so far beyond, big stuff, but ironically, it's when it goes down to little stuff that doesn't even matter, just social humility and be like, no, I'll be fine. That's all you got to do.
And Tubian got a good point. In the chat it says, "Is Kit really so out of touch he doesn't know show your ass means to lose your temper, or is he being dumb on purpose?" He has to be, right. He's got to be being dumb on purpose. He's not that ignorant, so I think he has to know what it means, and then he intentionally misrepresents it, which to me is the part that tells me you are deceptive. That's the toxic part. If it was an honest mistake, he would say, "Oh shoot, I was wrong." He doesn't. He doubles down, and well, that's a whole nother issue. But yeah. Tubian has a great point.
Yep. And of course, as you all just saw, I managed to accidentally click the back button on my mouse and go back, but I found where we were, so I recovered from stuff quick. What can I say?
Why is he green?
Yes, because it's in the middle of your transition.
Oh, it's glitching. Oh my god.
Yeah, the middle of your glitch transition. I found the spot we were at. That's what I did.
Copy that.
What's
up, Big Bad Mama?
Big Bad Mama. Hey, we were joking before the stream
that in the house.
If I end up muting myself this stream, he'll be able to update me instantly since he'll be there on the other end.
And then I do it.
Well, you had said something for like a split second. I guess, yeah, that's what you did. Also, with the colors shifted, it almost looks like Dino Lamp is on. Aww.
Rip to the Dino Lamp, man. I think that thing's gone.
Press F to pay respects for Dino Lamp. I still, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to call and be like, hey, are y'all bringing Dino Lamp to the protest? Because I want to get my picture taken with Dino Lamp. It's so stupid. They'd probably do it just for the heck of it. All right, but let's get to stuff. Yeah, I'm probably not going to say too much. I'm going to let the video play and you say your things, anything you want to add in. Or if I do have something to say, of course, I'll stop. But otherwise, there's probably just going to be a lot of your video playing.
I tell you what, the video from this point to the end is me starting and stopping and making comments. So if you would like to add to what I've said in the video, and then I can tack on anything else that I may have forgotten to put in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, you interrupt it if you've got something to say. For sure.
All right. So we're probably just going to let this thing play through because I don't possibly think I can add anything of value. Or I would preempt something of value, but let's see what your commentary is. Let's get into the mind of Seth, which sounds so awesome.
I was going to say, be careful, man. It's a scary place sometimes.
All right, that sounds like a Commodore 64 game. And that's just the best. The mind of Seth. Anyway, let's get to this.
Why is that a difficult question, Kent? Can you behave? Can you act like an adult and a Christian, by the way? You're known by your fruits, right? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control, right? You're not...
Well, not a single one of those describes Kent, so...
Yep, that's the problem.
You're not just a Christian, you're a pastor, held to a higher standard according to 1 Timothy. So, can you act like it? Let's go back, just like we did in the first call. Obviously, this one's a lot shorter. And let's just go through a little bit of this, because it's very important to document this, because I promise you, when he shows up there and starts bullhorning people while they're trying to speak, blocking traffic, or whatever else he'll do, who knows? They're extremists. Quite literally. They are sovereign citizen extremists. Who knows what they're going to do? I want this documented, because if he's a man of his word, he'll act like an adult. Let's watch.
Oh, cry baby. Oh, well, bring him on.
Joseph says, I don't know who it is. It's not Crybaby. Talking about creationist Crybaby. What do you mean, Joseph? My name's Seth. Ambushed Apostate on YouTube. I've made videos about you. Matter of fact, I went out of my way to make sure that I didn't burn you when all this stuff first started, when you got drunk and went over to this channel. I made sure not to distort your voice and not even use your name because I thought you had left, which makes you a target. Ask Cindy. Ask Sandra. You know, again, I said it last video. I don't hold it against you, Joseph.
But Seth, Sandra's coming back. That's why Kent's
Oh, is
still
she?
wearing his ring. Yeah. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
he said they had coffee that one day, and
They
then
had
you know,
coffee.
yeah, they had
Yeah,
coffee.
that's all it takes to fix a broken marriage. One cup of coffee.
Hashtag seems legit. There was no coffee.
There was no coffee.
He's just lying. But yeah, seriously, the proverbial trail of corpses behind Kent Hovind, all the burned bridges, all the ruined friendships, his family, is an absolute testament to just his inability to get along with other people.
Yeah, and to be honest, with Kent's case specifically, we tend to look at the outrageous stuff that he does and laugh at it and make content about it. But the damage he's done to his children, you know, agree with them, you know, theologically or not, the division that has come to Kent Hovind's direct family, which means his children, his grandchildren, real relationships, have been negatively affected because of this toxic framework.
It's
That is
absolutely
indisputable.
irreparable.
Right. Oh, and it is. That's the worst part about a lot of this is
Yeah.
that damage is deep and a lot of times it's permanent. So yeah.
Like, just we know, like with Eric's the one we're most familiar with. We know good and well he is never gonna let anyone of his kids or anything see grandpa again. He's not gonna interact. He's not gonna associate.
Right. And I guess just for me being, you know, in the place I'm at in life, if my kids, you know, had kids and I couldn't see them, like that would be the most devastating thing on the planet. And I would go, you know, to the moon and back to try to fix that so I could change it. You know, Kent has doubled down and blamed Eric and blamed, you know, everything that's not screwed down except for himself. So,
I mean,
you know,
any sensible, caring person would swallow their pride, swallow their ego, you know,
right.
and do what they have to try to restore some semblance of family if they truly care, like they act like they do. But
Right.
he just nothing but lies.
Right. Well,
Lies from the serpent's mouth.
par for the course.
Yep.
You're in a cult, and I was too. And you don't realize it, and you don't see it.
Just gonna look at that. Call for a debate anytime. What are the best three evidences you have for the evolution of religion? Call 855 Big Dildo extension 4.
Listen, that was on my short for the first call
Mm.
review video like this. So it's only been like 6 weeks. I know for a fact that Kent is not smart enough to leave his own comments. So Joseph threw that out there and then turns around and says, I don't know you. That's the part that I was kind of like, really? I mean, you don't have to like me, but I know you've seen what I've had to say.
Yeah. I mean, if he's aware of me, he has to be aware of you. So, you know.
Well, I mean, I called the show the other night.
Exactly.
I mean, he you know, it's just nonsense. And again, it shows a pattern of dishonesty everywhere you look. You know, it's a reoccurring theme constantly.
Everywhere you look, there's a Hovind who's lying straight to your face. Sorry, I'm turning this into a Yamato Live.
That sounds like a really bad day.
It really is. Like that text I sent you. All right, let's keep going.
Just know, no hard feelings when you come out. But don't sit here and say you don't know who Seth is. My name is Seth Henderson, and I'm Ambushed Apostate on YouTube. You might want to write that down because I ain't going nowhere.
What's up, Kent?
Oh, yes, sir. Who are you?
I'm Seth. I talked to you a couple of weeks ago.
Seth, like thus saith the Lord?
That'd be me. You don't remember the phone conversation where you muted me and then said I left?
If you haven't seen that, I'll put the link in the description. I will say, in hindsight, I should have held this comment back because that already put them on guard. Not
Yeah, I definitely agree. That set them up for that. But I mean, you know, you're being honest. You're being open. It's like, wow, you don't remember me? Okay.
Listen, I could have gone in like a bull in a china shop and
Yeah.
just and that would have not gotten any kind of response. So you know what? I can only have so much restraint when it comes to Kent.
Yeah, it was as I like to say, a measured response.
Correct. Correct.
Not that I said anything that was dishonest or inaccurate. They literally muted me and said I left for multiple minutes, and I'm yelling into my mic. Dishonest, yet again. It's almost like there's a pattern of dishonesty in these groups. Shocking.
I can barely understand him. Can you crank it up a little bit? I can put my headphones on.
Yeah, let's do the headphones.
And I don't remember.
I just gotta say, I love that snark and sarcasm there. Just,
Well, but the thing was, I wanted him to be able to hear me, and I'm like, I'm not going to say this for him to be like, "What did you say?
Yeah.
Can you repeat yourself?" You know, because I knew it was a one and done situation.
yeah. Still funny. Still great
Oh, yeah.
delivery either way. got your Dinosaur Adventureland headphones now only $999.95, fresh from Ken Hovind's website.
Remember conversations, brother. I got such a busy
it's okay.
life. Go ahead. What was it about?
Oh no, it's irrelevant.
Oh, and let's not forget the ego. I've got such a busy life. When in the same stream, he literally says he spent all day working on PowerPoint slides.
Yeah, that was a thing I noticed in post production. I didn't want to spend a lot of time on it, but yeah, give me
Yeah.
a break. You're so busy that you forgot. But yet, when you watch the call, which we just did uninterrupted, when I say what I say, he does his whole outro, but he brings up, well, what do you mean act like an adult? What do you mean am I going to show him up? You know, why would I? It's bothering him so bad. Eats
Yeah.
those kind of people up. He brings it up twice while he's already kicked me off. So he obsesses over people who don't agree with him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, you know,
It's a really, really obvious tick.
yeah. But he's not an
Irrelevant.
narcissist.
It's already in the past. I was just wondering, since you're coming to the Ark Encounter protest, are you going to be able to act like an adult and a Christian and not show your butt?
No, I keep my pants on.
Just for context, at this point, I was muted. It immediately, when butt left my mouth, I was muted. It was a couple seconds later, he pulls the video feed down and then starts sending me messages to taunt me and to blame me for being kicked off. I'm going to show those in just a second.
No, I keep my pants on. I don't ever show my butt to anybody, but I will act like a man of God that wants to preach the truth and read how the prophets did it.
I'm going to have to break this down once again because, Kent taught high school everything for 426 years and knows everything about everything, but he speaks like an idiot. There's supposed to be some sort of punctuation in there. Let's listen one more time. He says...
No, I keep my pants on. I don't ever show my butt to anybody, but I will act like a man of God that wants to preach the truth.
I will act like a man of God who wants to preach the truth.
All right, pause it right there for a second.
Really?
Yep.
He literally, within the same breath, goes to a different topic. And the reason I'm bringing that up is he wants so bad to get away from the topic at hand, which is, can you play nice?
Mhm.
So he's scrambling to find, and it ends up running his words together, and he sounds like a moron. I was going to put the definition of idiot up there. I felt like that was a little too pointed, a little bit. But definitionally, I mean, he talks like an idiot.
He does.
And I'm sorry he's that way, but it is what it is. And he ran that together in such a way that I really wanted to pick out the two things that he committed to do, which is, be a godly man who wants to spread the truth, whatever. That's fine. That requires no hate, no violence, no destruction, no disruption. So then he tacks on, well, look at what the prophets did. And that's where we're at. So play it real quick and let's let him finish. But
Yeah, I mean, just we've already seen it. But
well, you've got to just make those micro, you got to be able to look at it on a micro level because he sneaks this stuff in, you got to break it down.
And that's what I'm saying. You look at what he says and then look at where he immediately goes. The immediate switchback that's just a few seconds of something that contradicts what he says. Hence, you pointing it out so well.
Yeah.
They can't. Okay. That's the best response you could pull out of your head while you were sitting there looking for, something to say, something quickly to deflect attention off the fact that I'm asking you if you can play nice. And you loaded up that line, you fired it out, and you said, I'm going to act like a godly man who wants to preach the truth. All right, we'll see.
And read how the prophets did it.
Read how the prophets did it. Like, again, who cares how the prophets did it? I don't give one fraction of one about what your book says, about anything. At all. Why would I care what the prophets said about it?
Because it's in the Bible. I'm sorry, but I mean, I just love hearing you say the same kind of stuff I'd say. Just that the entire logic. Like, why would I care? It's really that simple.
I'm asking, Seth Henderson is asking Kent Hovind, can you act like a decent human being? And you can't even answer that. Before we wrap this video up, I want to say one more thing, and that's about what's on the bottom left of the screen on Kent's screen.
Yeah, he's been pushing those shirts heavily, which is understandable, but it's gonna be interesting to see what you have to say.
Well, apparently that's
Models
his
to
funding
prison.
to get there. He's been begging for money to try to get him transported up in July. He's like, if you're
so
that
that's
broke,
it.
if you've got to ask for a ride, you might not want to go if you don't have that much money. You know what I'm saying? Buy my shirt so I can go up to the Ark encounter and make a fool of myself. Hovind.
By the way, super chats on this stream are greatly appreciated as they will help Yamato get to the park.
Correct. And Ambushed Apostate will be picking him up. So it will also help us. It will help us both. And we love you.
Offset a
forever.
few of the costs and such. Yeah, it'd be appreciated.
Hey, would it be a tax write-off? Would it be like a business thing? We'll have to look into that.
We're gonna have to try to make something happen. This is going places.
We don't want to end up like Hovind.
Yeah.
End up in prison for misuse of the super chats.
I pay every tax I owe, and unlike Hovind, I also acknowledge that I owe taxes. Oops. All right, let us keep at it. We're at the home stretch. This has been so damn good.
He is literally comparing himself to Jesus Christ.
And, you know, I think I legitimately take offense to that. And I don't believe in a Jesus. I don't care about the Jesus character. I'm a mythicist personally, but even I find that offensive.
Dude, I'm telling you, it is blasphemous. Yeah, in every circle I was in, and I went from the fundamental evangelical stuff like Kent to the wacky new apostolic reformation, like your Pentecostal stuff, and then the Christian nationalist stuff. It would have all been the same. That would have been blasphemous. And yeah, I don't care at this point either. But as a Christian, as someone who believed like Kent, if I saw him in that shirt, I would have been offended. So I don't know where his head is at because he has an audience. But again, he lacks the self-awareness to know this may offend some people. So what do you do with that?
If they're offended, they're just not true Christians. They probably don't think the world's 6,000 years old, and they probably believe evolution religion. That's probably Hovind's response. Good old no true Scotsman.
Oh, Laura, thank you so much. You're awesome. We will definitely protest on your behalf.
Oh, snap.
Maria, also, thank you.
Yeah,
Hey, man, and zooming. Hey, listen, we got about a quarter tank of gas right now already.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, Laura, y'all are great.
This community, man, I'm telling you.
You know, that's why I always say in the streams, much love you guys. I really do. It's showing up, commenting, having fun, and then being as generous as you can be when you can be. It means a lot to me. I just love you guys. I really do.
I second that.
Oh. All right, let's get your commentary on the shirt from here. We got such meta commentary going on. It's beautiful.
And some of his followers. He's equally persecuted and has been sent to prison too, just like Jesus and his followers. This is what David Koresh thought too. Right before they killed 4 ATF agents who were serving a federal search warrant, 4 police officers lost their life that day. And their leader was talking this exact same way right before that popped off.
Something of note is that we're coming up on the anniversary of the end of the Waco siege. Waco siege was going from February to April 19th of 1993. And then exactly 2 years after that, another Christian nationalist, Timothy McVeigh, would do the Oklahoma City bombing. So we're coming up on the 30th anniversary of that horrific tragedy.
And when you boil down what was really responsible, it was radical cult level religious doctrine. I mean, that's what it boils down to. And
Tied up
it
in
costs-
McVeigh's case, tied up with some good old sovereign citizen rhetoric.
right, and a lot of times it goes hand in hand. But I always try to keep in perspective. You know, the scumbags in the situation didn't make it. You know, no lost sleep for me. But the dozens of children who were injured or killed in both of those incidents, that's who I try to keep in perspective. So when I bring it up, there's a purpose as to why I don't want people falling into this type of framework, because it's not about them, it's about their kids that have no choice. You know what I mean?
Yep. The complete no ability to do anything other
Right.
than what the family goes with, or be in the wrong place at the wrong time because of somebody. It's just, this is the true danger of fundamentalist religion and why we fight so hard against it.
Absolutely.
And little slices like this, I mean, it's a joke in our community whether Hovind and Dinosaur Adventureland are going to go down Jonestown or Waco, but that's a real, sardonic joke in that most of us seem to have some non-zero belief that it will go down, it will end in some kind of situation like those.
Well, I'm getting ready. What I'm gearing up to say next in the video is a true story. So let it play.
All right. Well, let's get to it.
I was busy in the attic, my former leader's house, laying sandbags and ammo boxes, facing up the driveway, but secluded by a big piece of vinyl siding. That way, when they came for us, pushed that vinyl siding out, elevated, proned out position, sandbags for protection, and a big rifle with a scope aimed right down that driveway. It's a pattern of behavior.
I don't know how I feel hearing that. It has that effect on me of just like, it's that off sense that's not terror, but not dread, but somewhere in between.
Well,
A level of just horrified that was just a normal thing, a thing that was normal to have done.
Well, I want to be very, very clear, for reasons I'm going to get into in a video on the 20th on my channel. But for now, I'm going to say I want to be very clear, because this individual was my former father-in-law. I'm trying to be respectful because that is my kids, side of the family. They're still close, so I try to be respectful. But we literally were preparing for this to happen. To be clear, we never were like, hey, we're going to strap up and go make something happen.
Yeah.
But it was very much so. See, my thing got to, what if a county cop comes down here to ask a question, to ask if you've seen a car and that, being creepy in the area.
Yeah.
And you freak out and start shooting, and my kids are visiting. That's where my concerns really got to, because they weren't openly ready to go out, but they were ready to start something at the drop of a hat on their property. You know what I'm saying? And that's the unnerving part.
A hair trigger with an itchy trigger finger. That kind of reactionary nature. Oof. Yeah, that's
scary stuff, man.
Yeah, really, really. Ooh. Let's get a little more Hovind in, something we can at least laugh at for now.
And I hope you guys see that Kent is not just the lolcow that we know he is. He is an unhinged, dangerous voice in the Christian nationalist movement. And I can't end it there. I'm sorry. I promised Joseph's text to me, basically where we're at in the video right now. As soon as I was muted and then pulled off the stage, Joseph sends this.
I love how you edited this in. It's like, but wait, there's more.
Right. Well, I was almost done, and I said, no, I got to go back and record a part because I did promise.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I didn't even know, like the backstage, chat was a thing. And I had already gotten up and took the dog out, and I came to sit back down, and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, you told me you were still in the room long after the stream ended.
Oh yeah, I was.
You never left.
Yeah, no, I was there after it was already done. I just didn't see them initially, and so I wrote back what I wrote back.
Yeah.
And but again, you see how this was my fault. You. There's 3 U's in 3 sentences.
Yeah.
It was all my fault because I was being rude. You know, I should have kissed the ring better or whatever. I mean, you know, yeah, Stacy for sure. He does give some major Koresh vibes. No joke.
At least David Koresh was some kind of musician. Give him that.
Hey! You hadn't heard that beautiful singing from Kent? Oh, it's one of the most wonderful things you can ever hear.
I'm slowly giving myself lobotomies, erasing that section every time I hear it, which means I forget to avoid him singing, and so I just keep having to go. I predict another 20 Wackahovins. I will have no brain left.
Well, we better make them good then. You got 20 left in you.
Yep.
Joseph, do you not see you're doing the same thing Kent does? It's not our fault. Not my fault. It's your fault. You got muted and kicked out because you were rude. Yeah, see, it was your fault, bruh.
You know, it's the very Christian thing to do, since that's their entire concept behind, you know, someone going to hell. You send yourself. God didn't do it.
Right. Well, yeah, and that is true. There is, yeah, it was sin, so it was the devil got the best of me. So that wasn't my fault. You know, it's a common trait, and it just comes down to the lack of taking responsibility.
Yeah, no accountability.
I would be totally cool with Joseph if he shot me an email and said, "Hey, miscommunication. I don't, you know, we're cool, whatever the case." But he's going to double down just like Kent, and now I have an issue with that. So,
yeah, that's the thing. I'm noticing a trend here where it seems like we all feel that Joseph, from our interactions with him, while he's a bit of a jerk at points, we feel like there's a potential redemption, so to speak, you know, being a little proverbial, like he could be kind of okay to associate with for whatever value it adds, especially if he left DAL, but like he's just becoming another Hovind.
Well, again, we're on the same page. So go ahead and press play because you're about to hear what you just said all over again.
Oh, man, I keep doing it.
And I swear he hasn't seen this.
Promise you, I haven't. It's just wild. Heck, if I had seen it.
I sent it to him 5 minutes before we went live. There was no way he had time. This is nuts. Play the video. This is crazy.
Deflection. Shifting the blame. Persecution complex. Oh, he coming here so rude to us. Y'all treat people. Excuse me. I don't want to say you, Joseph. Kent Hovind treats people like absolute and makes them feel worth about that much. And he does it with a smile on his face. You're picking up the deflection. You're picking up the gaslighting. You're picking up the toxic behavior. And from the bottom of my heart, Joseph, I am not mad at you. I don't hate you. I make content for people like you because I was you. Quite literally, was you. Reach out, dude. I'm not after you. I'm after the leadership of groups that poison the minds of good people with this type, and then you end up just like the leader. If you're new here, again, thank you so much. I'm so excited to see what the future holds for this channel. 4/20/2025, we're going to have a little video about where this channel is going to go in the future. I don't think they'll mind me saying at this point, Nancy and Patty, the Apostate Sisters, and I sat down a couple weeks ago. That should be out by the end of this month, April of 2025. So I feel like I'm in a dream, and I feel like I'm going to wake up soon and just be watching some of the people I'm now scheduled to interview with over the next few months. And it's all because of you guys. It's about this community. So thank you for being here. I will see you in the next video. And until then, whatever you do, don't get ambushed.
All
And
righty.
cut.
So, what do you guys think?
And what did you think? I mean, I addressed Joseph. I think I'm not going to say anything else about him, but that was sincere. And if he happens to see this, I'm all about it. But I'm also not going to get involved neck deep in a drama that turns into something that happens on some of these other channels that just drags everybody down. So.
Yeah, we're not having that. That was great. The thing I like about your content, and so many, creators, but like you have that No, as I stumble over my words, proving the point, you are far more articulate, even off the cuff or slightly mentally prepped than I am. And I always admire that in creators when they can flow that little bit better, even with just simple edits where necessary. You
Right.
know, it creates obviously an enjoyable, experience. And what you say, the way you phrase things, so solid,
Yeah.
such
Well,
a good hit.
I'll be honest, man. The situation in my personal life that had basically taken me from a household of 7 people to one. I had a lot of time to think. You don't talk out loud very much. There's nobody to talk to, so I did a
Yeah,
lot of thinking. And I think a lot about what I want to articulate with what I'm saying. The audience I'm talking to. Again, going back to censoring the profanity that seems kind of useless to some people, but serves a purpose. My head's just kind of always in a place where I'm thinking about stuff like that, and I feel like the articulation part of it is just something that I'm comfortable with, and I'm sort of natural with, and I think it's just another way of communicating, alongside somebody like you who's more, wide open. It brings a good balance in my view.
definitely, definitely. That's really the key thing with this show, this project. However, it's going to flow is that contrast between Seth and I, our different upbringings, and then possibly other people, inviting other people.
Sure.
Different contrast. Different events at different times. If this becomes a thing that takes off, it'll. We'll see where it goes. That's all I
Yeah,
can
I
say.
mean, I'll be honest. I enjoy conversations with both people in the community and those opposed, because if you can't have a conversation with somebody you disagree with, you know, and have an honest conversation, you're not growing, you know.
This is
So
true.
I appreciate the platform to be able to do that, and I think I think some people will jump on board and we'll have some good conversations.
Definitely, definitely. But yeah, we made it to right just shy of an hour. We had perfect timing here, my man.
That's right. Hey, and this is the very first time we did this. We didn't do a dry run or anything. It was
Yeah,
like, let's
no,
just jump
this
on and
this was it.
pilot episode. We'll do it
Yep,
live.
yep.
Thank you all for being here too. I appreciate all the support from you
Seriously.
guys.
And you see that we got like
And
31 viewers right now, so we're definitely.
I'm just looking at the backstage section. I did not
Yeah,
realize there were that many people. Well, thank
yeah.
you guys for sticking it out with us for
Oh,
sure.
maybe you don't get to see that info. I'm not sure. We'll have
Oh,
to
I'm
talk
not.
about a
Yeah,
few things.
I'm not privy to that. This is
Yeah.
you're the one that
Ah.
makes all the money around here, boss.
I'm just saying. I just got a little thing in our window. I watch my circle go bloop bloop. Your circle goes bloop bloop. The chat goes doodly doo, and up there it says live 720p 5760 and some change of viewers. And yeah, then I'm just being myself. I'm doing the funny voices like I do. It's me. You're never gonna escape me being me unless there's a
Nope.
situation where I have to be serious, like some of the videos you've heard me do. Guy, I tripled down on that. Videos where you've heard me be serious on stuff. Um, yeah, we'll see where this takes us. Definitely have a next one. We'll have an open call in kind of thing and just see where that takes us.
For sure.
Advertise it a bit.
Stacy, thank
Somewhere.
you. Ain't that swell in the chat, Zoomy? I appreciate everybody being here, interacting. Laura, thank you again so much. $10 straight to the gas tank for the road trip.
Yeah.
Hey, and that's going to be awesome, though. I really am excited about that. It's going to be a good time to brainstorm about content, get to know each other, get to know other people in the community,
Oh yeah.
and meet some pretty awesome people too. So you
Oh
guys
yeah.
stay tuned for that. That is going to be an awesome weekend.
Yep. Things are going great. Hopefully everything goes good for all of y'all in the audience. So much love. So Seth, the video will be up on your channel here shortly.
Yep. As soon as we end this stream, I'm gonna turn it live and pass it around. Make sure people see it, and we'll see what is next for the Epic of Kent.
Yeah.
And,
Let's see if Ken Hovind official 1 comments on this one.
yeah, we'll see. Yeah, somehow I doubt it. Thank you guys.
Maybe if you make it a short, they'll find that and do it.
Oh yeah, I should. I'll chop up some good parts and do a short. See how that goes.
Definitely. But all right. I've been Chris. It's my boy Seth.
Y'all take it easy, and I appreciate you.
Yep. Y'all are just the best. Catch everyone later.